And we welcome you to Raleigh, North Carolina. Fourth-ranked NC State hosting Virginia. You're watching Friday Night Duels on the ACC Network Extra. Lights out here in Reynolds Coliseum. What a great venue this is for college wrestling as we welcome you Matt Side here inside Reynolds Coliseum alongside Ryan Tice. My name is Andrew Sanders. And Ryan, boy, NC State has missed being here in this venue. It's been 54 days since they've had a home duel. This is one of, as I said, the best places to watch college wrestling in the country. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. NC State has built a phenomenal atmosphere here in Raleigh. Everyone in the conference knows about it, and these fans are excited for it. Well, the Wolfpack had some celebration to do before this duel got started, as Hayden Hidley is in rarefied air in NC State wrestling history. Yeah, all you need to know about 100-match winners at NC State is they have had more national champions than wrestlers that have met that landmark. Very impressive accomplishment. Not many more deserving than that one right there. So Hidley with 100 career wins. He is unbeaten in ACC competition. Hey, Virginia, the record is not the best, but this is a team with a lot of talent. They've had some ups and downs this year. They're better than their record would suggest, and Coach Garland telling us that earlier this week. This is a dangerous team that narrowly lost to Pitt and North Carolina. Yeah, no doubt about it. They gave the Tar Heels everything they could handle last week. Split it 5-5 thanks to 2 overtime victories from the Cavaliers. They took them the criteria. Back with Ryan Tice, I'm Andrew Sanders. There are 7 ranked versus ranked bouts in this duel tonight. Here's some of our favorites that we're looking forward to, and the contrast of styles is what makes some of these very interesting, Ryan. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. 65 and 97 especially are 2 complete opposites going at it, and you see how closely they're ranked in the national rankings together. Both of those should be really good ones. NC State ranked 4th in the country, 9-1 overall. The lone loss came to top-ranked Iowa, 2-0 in ACC competition. Virginia 3-4 overall and 0-2 in the ACC. We're going to start at 125 pounds. It's 14th ranked Jacob Camacho of NC State against the senior Patrick McCormick. Camacho being very active early, shooting quite a bit here. Camacho 9-2 in ACC duels all time. The 2020 ACC champion at 125 pounds. Twice an NCAA qualifier. Patrick McCormick was an NCAA qualifier as well last year and took 3rd at ACCs. So these are 2 of the best at 125 that you'll see in the conference. Camacho still not able to create any openings. Went front headlock there for a second, trying to come out of that to a high crotch, but McCormick's defense has held up so far. McCormick, one of the many veterans in this Virginia lineup. 6 wrestlers in the starting lineup are in grad school. McCormick, a senior, against the redshirt sophomore Camacho, but Coach Popolizio says that Camacho has a lot of maturity, and he's seen his maturity grow since he's in with a shot here. He's obviously already had tremendous success early in his collegiate career. And that was a nice deep shot. You see McCormick draped over top of him, trying to tie him up to prevent a finish here. Camacho hooks that leg. We'll see if he's able to pop his head out and finish it. Yes, he is. There's 2 for Jacob Camacho as he's on the board. This is the kind of start you want if you're Jacob Camacho. Very active early on. Finally breaks through that defense to create an opening with a nice high C. Able to finish and take that 2-0 lead. So the first takedown of the duel to Camacho, although it's not the first takedown that we saw tonight. The crowd enjoying an earlier match. Owen Treffin with a tech fall victory for NC State in a bonus match. A little appetizer before the main entree of the duel. Yeah, not often you get to start with the big guys like that. Yeah, and see someone put up 24 points. That's right. That's right. 20 seconds left in the period. Camacho trying to ride it out to end the first.
Yeah, that would be huge if he's able to take a 2-0 lead into the second period instead of a 2-1 if he let up an escape. There's Jack Mueller, the man that Jacob Camacho beat for his ACC title and helped him earn Most Outstanding Wrestler honors for the conference tournament. Mueller, a former NCAA finalist, now coaching for the Cavaliers.
It is a star-studded coaching staff for Steve Garland. All 4 coaches. There's a big mat return by Camacho. All 4 coaches were All-Americans.
Yeah, we could have a pretty good duel here between these 2 coaching staffs. There's a lot of highly accomplished wrestlers on both sides.
Yeah. There's Steve Garland, 16th season for Virginia. He was telling us about the 125-pounder Patrick McCormick, who's 10-8 this year. He said, look, when he's on, but it's got to be every week.
And that's what it comes down to. It's great when you can break through and have an awesome performance, a standout performance, but it's can you do it consistently on a match-to-match basis? That's where the separation comes.
McCormick beat Joey Prada. Got a ranked win there as Camacho gets the escape.
If I'm Jacob Camacho, I stick with the same philosophy he had in the first period with a lot of half shots, a lot of action until you can finally get that opening and fully commit.
And a stall warning given to McCormick. That's his first. Camacho with a single. Reaching for that right ankle. He's got it. And there's the finish. And just like you said, it was a couple of half shots.
And that was really the best of both worlds for Camacho. You pick up the stall call and you get the takedown. But he's been the far more offensive, far more active wrestler all the way through in this one.
Camacho 11-2 this season. Short time here once again, 20 seconds remain in the period. There's Pat Popolizio, 10th year for NC State. And the incredible job he's done. You see 7 straight top 20 finishes. The 4th place finish, they were 6th last year. Quite simply, not that there wasn't good history here at NC State, because I don't want to discount that. But when he arrived to where they are now, he has turned this program into a blue chip program.
Oh, no question about it. He's taken it to a whole nother level from where it was. There was history here at NC State, but nothing like what Popolizio has done in the last handful of years.
Winning the ACC once again. 3 straight for the Wolfpack, and a ranked 4th in the country. They've got their eyes set on a 4th.
And Camacho takes that stalling call right there. I mean, it was worth it to get the ride out and just take the stalling call for a warning, his first. It looks like he's going to go optional start here to start the 3rd period.
So McCormick quickly to his feet, his first point. And Camacho has had success in neutral, and here's the first time we've really seen McCormick with the shot.
Yeah, nice little reshot there from McCormick. See what he's able to get going here, but Camacho he broke the grip. This is trouble for McCormick.
Yeah. Looking for the trip, and there it is.
And I feel like that optional start at the beginning of the 3rd period was just a confidence thing for Jacob Camacho. He said, let me go get some more takedowns. You got to love to see that if you're NC State. As we're getting near the postseason, it's time for these guys' confidence to take off just like that. And of course, I think Camacho probably knows what happened with, let's say, the UNC match, and he knows bonus points could be huge in this.
Sure, absolutely. Virginia falling via third criteria because Carolina had scored more total points in the duel. And they were right there with Pitt despite being without 3 starters midway through that duel. And Coach Garland saying, hey, they're finally to a point. There is a 2-point takedown for Camacho. They're finally to the point where they've got everybody in the lineup and healthy.
Yeah, last week was the first time that you could say that for the Cavaliers, and you saw what the result was.
Now, the ride time point has been locked up by Camacho now. So this is effectively a 10-2 lead, putting him in major decision territory. And he says, you know what? Optional restart again. I got 40 seconds, and
confidence.
He wants to go for another takedown.
That right there is confidence. He knows he's gotten 3 takedowns in this match, and he can go get a 4th.
Yeah, just like that. And now it took him 16 seconds to get the takedown. And he's got McCormick in trouble here. Turned him.
Camacho
Virginia thinking this might be a reversal.
I was going to say Camacho needs to make this into a scramble.
Whole lot happening there in the final 10 seconds. It's going to go down as a major decision for Jacob Camacho.
Impressive performance from Jacob Camacho, in my opinion. Lots of takedowns against a guy that's very hard to score on. Let's take a look at some of these takedowns. Here is his second takedown. I believe this was the one that opened his takedowns in the third period. He had 3 of them. And he was able to just break things open. Great little trip here on the edge. Jacob Camacho, his confidence is taken off just at the right time for NC State.
Well, what better way for NC State to come back home? Jacob Camacho's got a little pressure on his shoulders there. You're in front of fans for the first time in a while, right? For a couple of months for NC State. And he comes up with a major decision over a quality opponent in Patrick McCormick.
Yeah, it's been a while since this NC State team has wrestled in front of a home crowd. They wrestled at Duke last week, but to be honest, they had more fans there than Duke. And then before that, it had been, I think, almost a month. They wrestled Campbell, fans weren't allowed. They wrestled Princeton, fans weren't allowed. Before that, it was the Southern Scuffle and then the Collegiate Duel. So I think it's been since probably December 20th against Binghamton since they have wrestled in front of a home crowd.
Here we are at 133. This is Kai Orini of NC State, ranked 15th. 22nd ranked Brian Courtney of UVA, and immediately Orini is in. This is one of our featured bouts.
No doubt about it. These two guys both have had pretty good seasons so far. I think Courtney obviously is the more experienced guy. He's coming down from 2 years up at 141 pounds. NCAA qualifier last year. Going up against Orini, who broke into the lineup and has really impressed with his results.
Yeah, you say pretty good season so far. You're underselling it, my friend. You're underselling it. Courtney with 2 losses. Both of them have been to ranked wrestlers. Orini's only loss as he looks to finish here. No control yet. But Orini's only loss came to 3rd-ranked Austin DeSanto of Iowa. So both of them only beaten against very, very top competition. And, hey, it's another ranked matchup, and this is the first of 7 we'll see tonight.
Yeah, not only a ranked matchup, you can see the numbers on the screen right there. They're within 7 slots of each other, according to the Intermat rankings. If you look at the coaches' rankings, they're even closer. They're within 4. So I think that just shows you what an even matchup this is. Great shot there from Orini.
It was good defense just a moment ago from Courtney because it looked like, Orini had him on a single leg for what, 30 seconds?
Yeah. Now he's going big.
And he's got it.
And right there, he puts Courtney in danger. Courtney reacts, so Orini takes the 2. Great job on that takedown. And look at that mat return. Huge mat return.
And it's on a mat return like that that you can feel this atmosphere and the crowd that had packed inside Reynolds Coliseum.
Now, Arini did pick up a stall call there for pushing his opponent out of bounds. Important to note. Just his first, so a warning at this point.
Brian Courtney, ACC Wrestler of the Week. He beat 10th ranked Jamie Hernandez of Carolina. He beat Joel Heilman in a bonus match as well. So he's coming off a nice performance.
And those are two quality wrestlers for the Tar Heels as well. Both guys who have been in the national rankings before.
Courtney with the escape.
Another nice shot there from Arini. He is getting in deep and doubles him off. Not able to finish yet. Keeps trying to scoop that foot. Courtney locked in the crotch, which is preventing Arini from gaining control here. Arini's going to keep trying to scoop that boot. Now, this is what Courtney wanted. He wanted to roll through in a much more of a 50-50 position here than he was prior.
And once again, that's twice now. It looks like Arini's in position to finish. Courtney doing enough to scramble.
Yeah. And Courtney, you got to remember, Courtney's been at 141 for 2 years, so he can handle a lot of strength.
And you see the strength of the 133-pound weight class in the ACC. You got Corbin Myers. Hey, Mickey Filippi has been tremendous for years for Pitt as well.
That is going to be a fun one March 6th at ACC's. See how that weight shakes out, which will be in Charlottesville.
Kyle Arini was the backup at 141 last year for NC State, dropping down to 133. And Coach Pop saying he feels like that's really going to help his conditioning when you have to cut a little bit, got to do a little more cardio. And yeah, I'd say he's been well conditioned to an 11-1 record so far. And
similar to North Carolina, we mentioned before, I mean, NC State's got two really good 133-pounders. You got Kyle Arini and Jarrett Trombley, the two-time NCAA qualifiers over there on the bench.
Depth in the room never hurts.
Oh, can never have enough depth. State's got a couple weight classes like that now, the way that they've been able to recruit.
And there's the escape for Arini. Took him about 30 seconds to get out. Ride time, not a factor. 2 seconds in favor of Arini right now. There's the other 133-pounder for NC State, Jarrett Trombley. You might notice the hoodie he's got on, and these are unique singlets that NC State is wearing. They've got the camo on the bottom. It's Military Appreciation Night here for NC State, so they're unveiling some new gear.
Yeah, the Oregon of college wrestling's always got something up their sleeve. But here we go again. Another deep shot from Arini. And look at the defense of Courtney. He might be able to cross-face this and spin around behind for two.
And now he's trying to get that left leg out, and he has been able to do it. That's the move Arini could not get, and there's two for Courtney. Really in identical positions, and you saw Courtney just able to hook that boot around.
Yeah, we expected this to be one of those even matchups coming in. Has not disappointed one bit.
10 seconds left. The crowd trying to urge Arini to be able to escape and get a late point. Courtney really trying to be heavy. Roll through, not there, and Brian Courtney has been impressive.
Huge ride out there for Brian Courtney. Let's take a look at this takedown. You see how deep Arini was. Courtney sneaks that crossface in, gets his hips back. Once he breaks the lock, it's over. As soon as he breaks that lock, you see Arini still had it locked right there. But as soon as he breaks that lock, he was able to spin around and get his two.
Brian Courtney, the grad student, one of two guys on the team who's married. He's a veteran. And as a grad student, his school day might go with wrestling involved as well, from 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 at night, day in, day out. He is dedicated to the sport, and he's locked in.
I believe Coach Garland told us he...
Oh, big move here from O'Reilly. 4 swipes.
He is in deep there. He's got a lot of leverage, but Courtney able to belly down.
Everybody off the NC State side of the mat.
O'Reilly not giving up on that. He still has an arm in there.
And now Coach Garland is coming over to, I think, maybe say that he's in a dangerous position here.
And O'Reilly can just settle in there for the last 48 seconds of the match.
Yeah, and they're potentially dangerous. You touch the back of the head like that. I think that's what Coach Garland was saying. How about Kai O'Reilly?
What a move. I mean, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's really broken things open when you've got a 6-point move like that.
Well, as we expected, this has been a very even match until that moment.
And that's the thing with wrestling. You can have a really even match on eye test, but then the final score, there might be a little bit of a gap because of a big move, such as what we just saw.
First couple periods, we saw O'Reilly, for the most part, was the aggressor, but Courtney was able to ride out at the end of the second period, was able to defend well a couple of times, but when you make someone defend over and over again, eventually there might be some cracks, and O'Reilly found his opening.
I felt like early on, Courtney had those sly, veteran, graduate student tricks, and O'Reilly was just able to break through eventually, the young redshirt freshman getting it done.
And he wants to ride out the rest of this match.
He has had several nice mat returns, and those will just break you when you're the bottom guy, and you're having that happen.
So I had a locked hands call there at the very end, but it's not going to change that Kai O'Reilly wins by decision. Francisco Isaiah Kailani O'Reilly. 10-4 victory over Courtney. It's 7-0 NC State through 2 bouts.
We are back at Reynolds Coliseum. Kai O'Reilly, big move to take the 10-5 decision. That one broke things open late in the third period, puts his opponent on his back, seals up the decision. Wolfpack leads 7-0 after 2 matches.
We move on to 141. 24th ranked Ryan Jack. There he is of NC State, 12-4 on the year against sophomore Dylan Cedeno of UVA, who's just 2-3. But Cedeno, big time coming out of high school. He was an All-American at Flow Nationals, Super 32, Beast of the East, Journeyman, pretty much you name it, he was an All-American there. And he hasn't gotten a chance to wrestle a ton yet this year. But Coach Garland telling us he's a guy that likes the limelight, and he hopes that he can rise to the occasion in a venue in front of a lot of fans here and put on a good showing.
Yeah, and I tell you, I thought Cedeno put on a great showing last week against North Carolina. Top 10 opponent in Keyshawn Clark. And we're talking about a match that was 2-2 with 30 seconds left in the second period. They bumped heads, and Cedeno just showed ultimate toughness just to come back and finish that match, but ended up 6-2, but it was much closer than that final score indicates.
Ryan Jack did get some experience. He wrestled twice in ACC competition in ACC duels last year. But this year, against Duke, he won by forfeit, so I'm sure he's pleased to get an opponent in Cedeno here, and obviously get to wrestle in front of his home fans. A lot of activity from both of these guys here early on.
Yeah, lots of speed out there on the mat right now. These guys are quick.
And a quick finish there from Ryan Jack.
Beautiful low single, right into a finish, and now he's working on top.
Maybe Jack's best match of the season was a loss against second-ranked Jaden Ironman of Iowa. It's 7-6 by 1 point. A lot of people in the wrestling community thought he actually pinned Ironman. There was a lot of debate about that. I wonder, how much differently do you think he would be viewed? I mean, he's ranked 24th. He's getting a lot of respect. But if he had been granted that pin, are we talking about a guy who's maybe in the top 15?
Yeah, we're probably talking top 15, maybe even higher. Top 10, could have a single digit. I mean, I think that match was eye-opening on a national level for the wrestling community. But it had to be such a confidence booster for Ryan Jack to be right there with a guy who's been in the NCAA finals, a guy that's a 4-time All-American. And he showed during that match he can scramble with anybody in the country. We've got a lot of weight changes in this match.
Absolutely.
On both sides, guys that have changed weights from last year. Ryan Jack moved up from 133 pounds, where he split time with Jarrett Trombley last year. And I tell you, he's been looking real good at this weight as of late.
Yeah, speaking of weight changes, 141 was open because the guy we're going to see next, Tariq Wilson, bumping him.
I think in almost every weight class, probably not 25, probably not heavyweight, every other weight class, we probably have a guy that changed weights on one or the other side.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Cedeno trying to work hard, but Ryan Jack not letting him go anywhere.
That was a great mat return, and in that time, very crucial, about 15 seconds left. See if he's able to get the ride out here.
And he is. We saw Pat Popolizio giving him some words of encouragement a moment ago, but just to Pat's right, there's Kevin Jack, proud older brother and 3-time All-American. I'm sure what a resource he must be for Ryan.
No doubt, and we mentioned him earlier in the broadcast. He was on that graphic of 100 match winners. So the Jack brothers have quite the opportunity to leave a legacy here in Raleigh. Coming out of Danbury, Connecticut.
The Danbury, Connecticut pipeline.
And that Danbury pipeline shows no signs of drying up here in the future. They've got quite a few kids from there and are still recruiting others.
See how Cedeno handles on top. And 1 point awarded here. Coach Garland getting the explanation. What did you see, Ryan?
Well, we're getting a referee. Referees are going to the monitor here. I missed whatever the penalty was for, to be honest with you.
Jack right now is getting his left hand tended to. Perhaps some blood there, but that wasn't the call, obviously. But we'll get word here in just a moment because they're at the monitor right now reviewing.
The only thing I can think of is maybe they're looking for an illegal cutback when he left both of his feet, possibly. There's a split
they have
second
been emphasizing that more this
right
year,
there.
right?
Yeah, there's a split second right there where it seems like he was almost going to go for it. He left both of his feet. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that's that they're looking for right now. Yeah, so I think what happened there, I think they were looking for an illegal cutback on the monitor, and they're saying there was not one. I didn't see one. So I think that's the right call. I believe that's what they're looking at.
And so that point that had gone up on the board momentarily, it's back to 2-0, and we restart in the center, and Cedeno back to work on top. And an escape.
Nice job by Ryan Jack, putting two moves together there to get out. Went for a switch one way, guy stops it, and he goes, the other gets away.
Ryan Jack right now.
We're going to get a warning for hands to the face here, just a warning.
Right time, 59 seconds, 0.9. So he didn't get out quite fast enough. And Cedeno at least, we got a lot of match left here, but Cedeno doing just enough to erase the right time point as of now.
Although I imagine Cedeno is going to choose down to start the third period, and then Jack will have that point once again.
Oh, he picked that ankle.
Cedeno trying to create a scramble here. He's got Jack's leg and he is locked around it. I think that's going to be too tough for Jack to break the grip of the way he's got it right now. Jack's a scrambler though. If he's able to create something here. That was another really strong shot, I thought. The way he changed levels, I mean, that's what that shot was. The level change created an opportunity for him to get so deep on that foot.
Jack just took a peek at the clock. There's the horn. Second period is over. And as you expected, it is Cedeno on bottom here.
I believe Papalizio just told Ryan Jack we need at least 20 seconds of riding time. So that's what they're looking for. Get a little cushion there. Like you mentioned, partner, he started the period at 59.9 seconds. A nice mat return there.
It's interesting, you know, that's the amount of cushion they feel is necessary. Hey, 0.1's not going to cut it. We don't want to be right there in a minute.
No, of course not. Leave yourself some wiggle room.
Well, he's at 20 seconds now.
He's got to work up or he's going to get hit for stalling here. They go out of bounds, so that saved Jack from any sort of stalling call. Virginia coaches are yelling at Cedeno, get back to the center, get back to the center.
Yeah, neither guy really in a big hurry here.
Interesting. Ryan Jack got his 20 seconds Papalizio wanted, but Papalizio just said to him, keep him down. So they want him to keep riding here.
And there's the escape, Dylan Cedeno. Now needs a takedown. Right time at right about 1:40. So there is the cushion that Jack was looking for. He hasn't locked up that ride time point yet.
Yeah, about 20 seconds away from doing so at this point. Cedeno really putting the pressure on now, really attacking, trying to draw a stall call, open up Jack, do something.
Yeah, gotta like the pace that he's working with here in the third period.
Both guys kind of shot at the same time there and still wrestling here, still in bounds.
That escape, I feel like, gave Cedeno a little juice.
It did.
I mean, he really hadn't done a whole lot offensively earlier than that, but getting to be late time here, he's got the right mentality.
And that might have been his game plan coming in. Keep it close early, turn it on at the end.
Yeah.
Not sure what their coaches saw, but you do see him on the offensive now, and Jack is being much more defensive. But he's smart right there. Right when there's an opportunity for a ref to think about a stall call, he goes in on a shot.
Oh, and a late takedown by Cedeno. The ride time point goes to Jack. I tell you what, Dylan Cedeno worked hard for that takedown, and he got it with 2 seconds left.
I feel like that takedown was a minute in the making, a minute and a half in the making, something like that. I mean, he worked for that takedown and got it, but Ryan Jack is able to hold on thanks to the riding time point. We are going to take a look here at this takedown that Cedeno got right before the final buzzer, able to spin around and get his two. Not enough to upset Ryan Jack.
I think certainly some positives for Dylan Cedeno to take out of that bout.
No doubt about it. I mean, you're a guy with a record of 2-3 coming in. You're wrestling a blue chip recruit in Ryan Jack, who's ranked 24th in the country. So I think that was a solid performance for Dylan Cedeno, no doubt about it.
Getting ready for 149 pounds. Jared Verclaren is already on the mat. Tariq Wilson about to make his way there. And yeah, 149 is crowded. Andonian. Tariq Wilson's already beat Josh Feinsilver. You got Sherman of North Carolina. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is another weight class that's just got tons of excitement. Those top two, we didn't get to see it 2 weeks ago when we were supposed to. I can't wait to see what happens when Tariq Wilson and Bryce Andonian finally square up.
Wilson's 9-0 on the year. Verclaren is 16-5. Verclaren began his career at Penn State. He was an NCAA qualifier, but that was when they had COVID. So that was when COVID burst onto the scene in 2020. So he didn't get his shot at NCAAs, transferring to Virginia. He was highly decorated in high school, a blue chip recruit, and Tariq Wilson has been highly decorated here at NC State here in year 5.
Yeah, 2 veterans of the sport, 2 former top 100 recruits. I will say, it's safe to say, Verclaren was a considered far more of a blue chip recruit than Tariq Wilson was. Wilson has turned it on in his college career and been quite impressive.
Yeah, Tariq Wilson has him in trouble early. A takedown, and Verclaren able to get off of his shoulder there. Verclaren, Flow Nationals champion. He won the Super 32 in 2016 at 145 pounds. He's from the state of Pennsylvania. When you win a high school championship in the state, he was the 2017 145 state champion. Again, he was a top 20 recruit, but Tariq Wilson, 4-time NCAA qualifier, 3-time All-American. Got an ACC championship last year and finished 3rd at NCAAs, and bumping up a weight class.
Yeah, bumping up 2 weight classes from where he began his college career as well.
That's right. Yeah, went unseeded in the 2018 NCAAs, finished 3rd. That was at 133.
That was. And that was one of the most incredible NCAA runs you will ever see. He tallied 24 takedowns in that tournament, only gave up 2 of them, took the eventual national champ to sudden victory. I mean, he was the talk of Cleveland that year. And I think it's interesting, we noted how Tariq Wilson has moved up from where he started his college career. I mean, you still see the length he has on Verclaren, a guy who is a career 149 pounder.
Hands to the face warning there.
Referee trying to keep things in order, that's all.
Yeah, you think about that, though, with his height to succeed at 133, and he fits right in at 149.
Well, it makes you wonder how the guy ever made 133 pounds.
Verclaren, one of the 6 grad students in this Virginia starting lineup. Quick shot from Wilson. Finish not there yet. He's got McClaren on his back. Still in bounds. And now they say off.
No points. The Wolfpack faithful not happy with that, but right here, great shot from Tariq Wilson. He eventually comes upper body. Verclaren tries for a throw. And they're saying no control. Pat Papalizio's at the table looking for an explanation. No brick thrown.
What did you think?
I think it's awfully tough to consider that control, just the way they were kind of twirling, I don't know what you would say, moving around. Still, probably, I think if the NC State coaches would have really thought it was a takedown, I think we could have seen a brick there, and we didn't.
So no challenge, 10 seconds left, stall warning given to Verclaren, backing up there. Wilson peeks at the clock, he'll shoot again. And again, they say no control.
Very similar situation there. Verclaren goes with those double overs and is looking for a throw.
All right, so 2 big swings there that Wilson doesn't get points on, but that's got to give him a ton of confidence going into the second period.
Oh, especially with as easy as he was able to get in so deep. I mean, when he shot that second one, I was like, there's only like 3 seconds left. What is he doing? And he still almost finished it. That shows you how explosive Tariq Wilson is, though.
And they go off here. Verclaren was recruited by the Paulson brothers, the assistants for Coach Garland, when they were at Iowa State. He initially committed to them at Iowa State. They had staff turnover. He ended up staying home, going to Penn State. But obviously had a relationship with the Paulson brothers. And then when he went into the portal, he had actually already turned Virginia down. And there you see the Paulson brothers, their assistants for Coach Garland. And he had said no to Virginia. But wouldn't you know, he's at an event, he sees Coach Garland speak, and if you've ever had the pleasure to talk to Coach Garland, you can see why he changed his mind. I mean, he is animated, engaging, witty, a tremendous speaker.
Yeah.
And after seeing him speak, he called him up and said, you know what, Coach? I'm coming to Charlottesville. I want to wrestle for you.
Yeah, I believe the words Coach Garland told us where he said, I have to wrestle for you. There was no other choice after he saw Steve Garland speak, and I think that's one of the least surprising things ever.
He has got tremendous personality, and he's got the credentials to go with it as well, right?
Former NCAA finalist, no doubt about it.
Fans here want a stalling call. Remember, Verclaren's already been hit with 1.
Wilson doing a great job on top here, just staying in control.
He's up over 1 minute and 25 seconds of ride time.
This crowd really looking for that second stall call.
Well, with those 2 tackles, if you will, for Wilson that did not end up in control, they're getting a little restless here because they feel as if, this bout shouldn't really be as close as that scoreboard in your picture tells you. It's 2-1. And Verclaren's got 31 seconds here to tie it up with an escape.
Wilson's got a cross wrist. Verclaren gets out of that. Now he's going to sneak that leg in on the right side.
There's the stall call, and that will result in a point for Tariq Wilson. The fans always call for it before you see it given, but it is given, and that gives Wilson an extra point to play with here.
Yeah, that second period went about as well as it could have for Tariq Wilson and NC State. Not only does he get a ride out, He gets a point for the second stall call, and that kind of will change things going forward with how Verclaren wrestles possibly. Wilson doing a good job of wrist control, and he's right out.
Quick escape for Tariq Wilson. Pat Popolizio saying he maybe has made the biggest gains of anyone in the program this year. And he thinks, ranked third in the country, he thinks he is a major threat to win the national title this year. He's going to be tested in the ACC, and that's got to help his odds. And for a guy that's been deep into the national tournament a couple of times before, I think that's got to be beneficial as well.
Yeah, this ACC weight class is going to really prepare these guys for the national tournament in Detroit.
There's the length of Wilson right there.
Verclaren now trying to create a scramble here. Now he's in deep and in a good position.
Wilson just slowly creeping back. Doesn't let him get that back left ankle.
Verclaren's going to try to pull him back in center, but it's going to be tough.
And that height, again, matters. Wilson's got long legs, and every time Verclaren reached for that back ankle, he just slid it a little further out of bounds.
And that thing was a mile away with how long Verclaren's arms are. I mean, he does not have that length Tariq Wilson does. It's, again, one of those interesting clashes. We have a lot of those tonight.
Yeah. Style differences. And again, two very good wrestlers. Wilson unbeaten this year. Verclaren's won 10 of his last 12.
You saw Verclaren trying to go upper body. Tariq smartly got right out of that.
And he caught him in a shot there, but Verclaren's able to get out of it. Tariq Wilson moves to 10-0 on the season with a 5-1 victory over Jared Verclaren. So far, 4 bouts. All of them have gone NC State's way. A decision for Wilson. $13-0 NC State through 4 matches, so it's been all Wolfpack so far. They've got the band here, cheerleaders, fans, young and old in attendance. We talked to Coach Garland, and he brought up the atmosphere here in Raleigh. It is starting to be known as a place around the country that is very tough to wrestle in. And we'll see after a bumpy start. Not that the Hoos haven't been competitive here through the first 4 matches, but they haven't taken away a victory yet. How do they withstand the pressure as this duel goes on? And it doesn't get any easier for Jake Keating here, ranked 29th in the country, but going up against 10th ranked Ed Scott, who has gotten a ton of work in this year. He is 16-0.
He's gotten a ton of work in, and he's gotten a ton of work in against really quality competition. And watch out, he loves throwing big moves. Looks like Keating's willing to say, hey, I got some big moves too.
Keating, an NCAA qualifier last year. He went 0-2 in the big tournament, but he was the ACC runner-up at 165 pounds. And you talked about weight changes. Yeah, he dropped down. And you asked Coach Garland about it. He said it came naturally to flip-flop Keating and Justin McCoy, who we'll see at 165.
Yeah, just natural way of the guys working it out on their own. And he said Justin McCoy might have even grown an inch. So that might have made it even easier. Yeah. But he said both guys, he said that was one of the easiest weight change conversations he's ever had. He said both guys were kind of thinking it already.
So, veteran versus the youngster here, Ed Scott, second year as a freshman.
Watch out, this is where Ed Scott likes to set up his Ed lock.
Keating, a redshirt senior, 8-4 on the year.
These guys are intent on throwing each other, it seems like.
Yeah, we're going to see some fireworks before this one's over.
And here's the thing about Jake Keating. You see that number 29 next to his name on the screen? I feel like there are two guys on this Virginia team whose national rankings are really low for how good they are. Keating is one. Jay Aiello, who we'll see at 197 later, is the other.
And Aiello, and we'll talk about this later, but he's been in the top 5 before. For Keating, they just haven't had him this year. He just came back against Carolina, so again, he's a big piece to their puzzle of feeling like their lineup is whole. And you know, as he can get some more matches under his belt here, you figure that that ranking's going to go up.
This is Ed Scott's move.
And he slips out of it and scores himself. And escape quickly here for Scott. 40 seconds left in the first period. Yeah, and if you're Keating, you have to know coming in that Scott's going to try to hit that move.
No doubt. That's on the scouting report for everybody in the country against Ed Scott now. But look at this shot he's in deep on. Keating doing a nice job of defense so far.
Keating felt like, and he had a lot of success at 165. I told you, ACC runner-up. He beat Kennedy Monday of Carolina last year. And he's cutting down. You got to figure he's going to be really tough at this weight in ACCs.
Yeah, and I think the most impressive thing about Jake Keating, they wrestled Pitt 2 weeks ago. There were some situations where they were down a couple of starters. Jake Keating weighed in at 197, yet wrestled up at 165 against NCAA finalist Jake Wenzel. And according to Steve Garland, he wanted to do that. He was looking forward to that challenge. And I think Steve Garland said it best when he said, I wouldn't want anything to do with Jake Wenzel. And his guy, Jake Keating, is asking for that match to bump up.
Say, hey, you need me to bump up? Sure.
That's when Steve Garland told us, he said, if we had 10 Jake Keatings on this team, we'll be one of the best teams in the country.
Getting a little bit of blood, I think, off of the middle of the mat here. Now, see Scott's left nostril plugged up. 3 top 15 wins in a row for Ed Scott. Got him ACC Wrestler of the Week a couple of weeks ago. There's the quick escape to tie things up. He beat Jared Jacques of Mizzou, Caleb Young of Iowa, who's ranked 8th, and then Quincy Monday of Princeton was ranked 5th.
We are going to see a throw here at some point. Yeah. These guys are not abandoning it at all. Ed Scott with another nice shot, saying, hey, I'm not just all throws and headlocks.
There's the trip, and there's the headlock.
He's got the cradle locked up. It looks to me like Ed Scott is underneath of Keating's shoulder, which is preventing the pin there. You see him readjusting, trying to fix that. Posting on his head. This is a tough spot.
He's still working for it.
And right now, if I'm Ed Scott, I'm trying to put my belly on top of Keating.
Still hasn't released the holds. Another bite at the apple.
And he rolls him
try the other way.
Trouble. If Ed Scott can adjust this, he is in great position to end this one early.
He is on the brink right now.
Still only one set of near points because he has not released that lock. But he's going for it all.
He's running out of time in this period. 20 seconds remain. Keating trying to break that lock.
Yeah, Scott's not letting go of that lock, but he's in a tough position to really look for the pinfall.
And a reversal. Wow. So Keating able to survive. I think everybody in the building here for 4 or 5 seconds thought the pin was coming. Here's another look. He got the trip, and then there's the cradle.
Yeah, and he locked that cradle up so fast. The key for a cradle is you want that head to be close to the knee. Ed Scott just saw that opportunity and struck right away. And right here on this roll through, I thought he might be able to get him, but he was just underneath of Keating enough to keep that second shoulder off the mat.
So if you're Jake Keating, for what, a minute plus, you're right there thinking, I gotta avoid getting pinned. He didn't just do that, he got the reversal as well. He's only down 2 entering the third.
Only down 2 despite getting cradled up from neutral.
My question is, how much gas do you think he has left in the tank defending that?
Well, that's what I was just going to get at, is he had to fight off of his back for, I think it was over a minute.
It was over a minute.
I mean, that drains you. So maybe that stoppage there for Ed Scott to get his nose replugged up wasn't the worst thing in the world for Jake Keating. But it's crazy he's only down 2 right now.
Yeah. Scott to his feet. He gets the escape. He also has a minute and 9 seconds of ride time, so effectively a 4 for now.
And we'll see if Ed Scott changes his philosophy of trying to go for a throw here.
Keating with the takedown. And he cuts him quickly, 9-7.
Smart move there by the redshirt senior, cutting right away. He might look for a throw here. He's got that underhook.
Is he still in? They say yes. Oh, he dragged the toe.
That was a toe drag along the sideline right there in football. Thought they might go for a throw, and right here, Keating able to just change his level and get down low enough, drag those toes.
He's got 2 in. That would have been good in the Super Bowl if it's Jamar Chase or Cooper Kupp.
That's right.
Look at him tap the toes.
Both big toes were in. We have got a tie match right here.
And there goes the ride time, just under a minute. And Keating back to work. Can he come back from being cradled here, Ryan?
That would be one impressive comeback against a top 10 wrestler like Ed Scott, who has been a bonus point machine for NC State. 14 of his 16 wins have come by bonus points.
And he was what? Just a couple inches away from getting a pin here.
Maybe centimeters. Scott just trying to hold on and look for the stalemate here. Keating not content with that.
Virginia thinks they have 2 here.
Ed Scott still got that leg.
And it's late time. He's got to hold on to this leg. There's 15 seconds left. There's the 2 awarded with 10 seconds left.
Scott's got to get out.
Oh, and Coach Garland is hopping around. He cannot believe that they stopped it there. He's going to have 6 seconds to get an escape here.
That was about the best case scenario for Ed Scott for that stoppage to happen. That's why Steve Garland's so upset.
I think the question that I asked you at the start of this period might be one of the worst questions I've ever asked on a broadcast, because obviously Keating had plenty of gas left in the tank.
Well, you were on the right track. I mean, that is incredibly
it's exhausting,
hard,
right?
To fight off your back. Trust me, I was a guy who was on my back a lot on a wrestling mat. It is hard to fight off your back for a full minute plus.
There's a guy who came off major surgery. He's ranked now in intermat, and if he can hold on for the last 6 seconds, that ranking's going to go up.
Jake Keating trying to make a statement and take out everyone's favorite freshman at 157, Ed Scott. I mean, he has taken the wrestling world by storm with how he's undefeated. He's not only undefeated, he's putting up bonus points on everybody. He's not only doing that, he's pinning dudes. He pinned Caleb Young of Iowa, the guy ranked 8th in the country. He's had some incredible wins this year.
And he might be looking up at the time right now thinking, how am I not just relaxing after this one, thinking he had a second period pin.
He's thinking I should have been off the mat about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
So both guys rested up a little bit here. Fans starting to rise to their feet. We're told now that Virginia lost a team point. Coach Garland's out on the mat. So it's technically 13 to -1 right now. But if Keating can hold on for 6 seconds, he'll get the 3-point decision. All right, here we go. Scott trying to roll out of it. Not there.
He's just looking for a roll of any sort.
And Jake Keating gets a top 10 win here on the road despite being cradled. Now, what do we got here, Ryan?
I believe we've got a referee review coming, his own review, to make sure Ed Scott didn't get out before the buzzer. I think that's what's happening.
I didn't see an escape, did you?
No, I did not see an escape at all.
Well, they're going to look and make sure. As it stands right now, Jake Keating got a victory. We'll get another look.
Yeah, Scott trying for the Granby roll, sit, turn, just trying to get out, and you see right there, time's out before he's able to escape.
Let's see.
Yeah, right there, he's not out. I think that should be a pretty easy and quick review, and it is.
So Jake Keating gets Virginia its first win in this duel, and it's a big one. What a third period.
Yeah, right here, Jake Keating able to get the takedown. Pulls out an exciting 11-10 win over Ed Scott. Virginia's on the board.
The conference's best have gathered for the ACC Wrestling Championship.
These guys go at it, they are exciting, and they're confident.
Unbelievable! There it is! Raise the roof. Holy moly! I love this sport.
What a year of wrestling on our Friday night duels.
Cannot wait for March 6th. Virginia hosting the ACC Championships. Our score here in Raleigh halfway through. 4th-ranked NC State, 13. Virginia, 2. Lost a team point, but got a big win. Some momentum heading into intermission at 157. Jake Keating handing Ed Scott his first loss of the season. A top 10 win for Jake Keating. Hey, NC State and Virginia Tech back on and game on. Whenever these two programs get together, year in, year out, they have been the toughest competition at the top of the ACC. We cannot wait. February 20th, 6 o'clock, ACC Network. There are several bouts we can't wait to see.
Yeah, where do we even start? There are bouts we have seen before that we're looking forward to. Trent Hidley versus Hunter Bolin.
Got to see
Jacob Camacho versus Sam Latona.
Latona, huge win last year.
But then there's matches we have not seen that I cannot wait for. 165, former NCAA finalist Hayden Hidley versus former NCAA champ Makai Lewis.
Yeah.
And then 149, Tariq Wilson versus Bryce Andonian. Guaranteed fireworks in that one.
That's a top 5 matchup. The one I really want to see, though, Hayden Hidley unbeaten in ACC competition, and this is his 5th year against the national champion in Makai Lewis. They've never wrestled before. Hidley bumping up a couple of weight classes. That's the one that nationally I think everybody has got their eye on, but all the other ones you mentioned as well. Just tremendous for the sport, tremendous for the conference, for us to be able to see that. And so I'm so glad that they were able to. NC State, that still went down as a forfeit for Virginia Tech, but this is going to be a non-conference duel.
And kudos to both coaches for making it happen.
Yeah.
Not depriving the wrestling world of what has been one of the best duels nationally each of the last couple years.
This might be the best bout we see tonight. Again, this is one of our marquee ones that we highlighted at the top at 165. Thomas Bullard of NC State, 11-4 on the year, versus Justin McCoy, who is unbeaten at 11-0. You see the rankings just separated by 4. Bullard's 4 losses on the year have all come against ranked wrestlers. But obviously, McCoy fits that description. A 2-time NCAA qualifier and ACC runner-up last year at 157 pounds. We were talking about that before intermission. Coach Garland saying he actually probably grew an inch. He has gotten bigger, and so when he came to him to ask him, hey, you feel like bumping up? He was almost relieved, saying, yeah, I was waiting for you guys, you know, but I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, I could go up easy.
I don't think any wrestler has ever turned down going up a weight class.
So I'll hit the dining hall a couple more times this week, no problem.
No, and this is one of the most interesting matchups of this duel because of the contrast of styles, the contrast of athleticism, I guess you could call it, on both sides. I mean, Steve Garland told us Justin McCoy is the best athlete on my team, and he said that saying, I know other guys are going to be mad I said that. And Thomas Bullard's just a guy that's incredibly hard to score on, a great scrambler, so good on top. They're just 2 guys who get it done in much different ways.
Yeah, Bullard is at home on top, and he's at home in a scramble such as this one. McCoy, a 3-sport star in high school, obviously is a wrestler, but he was a great wide receiver. Played high school baseball as well.
I'm going to bet he played shortstop. Just a guy that's the marquee athlete like that. He's always in the middle somewhere, whether it was shortstop, maybe center field, I'm not sure. But that's what Bullard does. You get in deep on a shot and he starts scrambling around and you're just not able to finish against him.
Thomas Bullard, I say he's gained a lot of confidence this year. Last year didn't really sit well with him, so he came back. And when he wrestles with some emotion, that's when he's at his best.
Yeah, there are times on top where he gets a little angry. There was an eye poke in a recent match, I remember, and he just starts cranking power halves. That is a spot I would not want to be in against Thomas Bullard.
A 3-time NCAA qualifier. But for Bullard, and to be fair, he didn't get his shot. He was a second-team All-American in 2020, but obviously you didn't actually get to wrestle that out. That was based on seeding, and he very well might have reached All-American status, but you have to think his goal this year, he's a guy that has All-American type talent.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. That's not even a debate. I mean, I think everyone has seen it from Thomas Bullard. They're just wondering when it finally shows at the NCAA championships, because he has flashes where he's competing against anybody in the country.
And you see his ranking at 21. He's been ranked a lot higher than that in his career, and that's something that both of these teams have athletes. There's an escape for Bullard, but both of these programs have athletes that, you know, might be back for their 4th or their 5th year, where the ranking isn't as high as it was a couple of years ago. And it's not that they haven't gotten better, it's just that the competition level across the country is such that it's tough to keep a top 10 ranking, say.
Well, and with that COVID year, I think we are going to have the best field at the NCAA championships ever.
Yeah, we're seeing that across the college sports landscape. It doesn't matter whether it's football, basketball. You go to any sport. When you give athletes an extra year, they're coming back older and with more experience, and there's more depth all around.
Bullard very comfortable in this position as McCoy tries to finish the takedown here. No control yet. Bullard still got that right leg of McCoy locked up. Now he's only got one arm on it, but he's got it cinched with his thigh as well, to prevent McCoy from getting it out. And you see McCoy gets it out for a second and he gets it right back in position.
Bullard just so tough to score against. Under 30 seconds left here for McCoy.
And the most impressive thing about Bullard, he gets put in some really bad positions, like beyond 50-50. We're talking 80-20.
Sure.
And there's never panic from him. He's just always very cool, calm, and collected, no matter what's happening and no matter how many body parts are twisted up.
See, he just absorbs that shot. And I think he's pleased with how the second period has gone.
Yeah, and McCoy went for a double there. And I think it's always interesting. What I've always been told, you can't scramble out of a double. You can scramble out of a single leg, but you can't scramble out of a double. So you see McCoy changing strategy, going for the double instead of a single, and Bullard just goes back to fundamental defense.
And obviously he's going to take bottom here, but this is where Bullard is at home.
Yeah, I think with as old and as long as Bullard has been around the ACC, everyone in the conference has the scouting report on him. But McCoy going underneath, and I like this call from McCoy. If you want to be an All-American in March, you got to be able to get off bottom on a guy like Thomas Bullard.
And he does so. Took him less than 25 seconds.
Just a warning for interlocked fingers here. Is the stoppage. You see McCoy readjusting his singlet.
McCoy 6 bonus point victories this year. That's more than half of his wins. Again, he's 11-0. We just saw an undefeated wrestler go down, Ed Scott, just before intermission, beaten by Jake Keating. There's Bullard looking to get his offense going for the first time, really, with just over a minute left in his third period.
And Bullard might be able to throw a cradle here. It looks like he's threading his arms through to get it locked.
Yeah, and right there, well, he's still moving with it. He's got the 2 points.
And he still has it locked. He needs to put his head in the side here and try to push McCoy over.
He's running out of real estate to get it done, though. McCoy retreating a bit. Is he going to try to bring him back towards the middle? He really can't. But again, he's in good position with 30 seconds left.
Thomas Bullard has really developed that low single shot. That's always been the criticism of Thomas Bullard. He doesn't have enough offense, but he has worked really hard to develop that low single and did a great job getting the finish there.
Well, it took McCoy about this much time to get out last time. Can he do it much quicker here? Right time, not a factor. Well, he is doing everything he can. But again, Bullard's got that leg underneath, preventing the reversal.
Yep, and he's going to keep racking up riding time, and he'll take this stall call. You see the ref counting it out. Absolutely,
and there is the stall call, but he's up over a minute. As the horn sounds, he wins it 4-1. He had enough offense tonight to beat a very good opponent in Justin McCoy.
He had enough offense, and he got the job done on top. Thomas Bullard is just so good on top, so good in scrambles, and you see
a little emotion. Yeah.
Let's take another look at that takedown. Low single, little scramble happening, but Justin McCoy just not able to scramble with Thomas Bullard. He switches the legs he's locked in on, turns around and gets his 2. And right here, he puts McCoy in big time danger when he's able to thread that lock, that cradle lock through. Not able to get any back points with it, but it got the job done.
I think that bout right there went about exactly as Thomas Bullard would like to draw it up. That was a vintage Thomas Bullard performance.
That really was. 4-1.
Now give him the right time point. Don't count him short now.
He got it by what, 1.2 seconds or something like that?
That's right.
Thomas Bullard getting it done.
Now here at 174 pounds, fourth-ranked Hayden Hidlay. You see the resume. We could have made a graphic 3 times that size and filled it up with all the accolades that he has had over his career, going up against Justin Phillips, the grad student, Hayden Hidlay, the junior Justin Phillips. These two guys, both great stories, both for very different reasons. Again, Hayden Hidlay has never lost in ACC competition. Justin Phillips has a top 20 win this year over Northwestern's Troy Fisher, and he came on as a walk-on. He used to go to Coach Garland's camps as a little kid, dreaming of wrestling for Virginia, but there was no scholarship waiting for him, and he just continues to do the little things when nobody's looking, and here he is in the starting lineup. So it is very much a favorite underdog, David versus Goliath here. Hidlay is a beast, going up against the former walk-on Justin Phillips.
Another contrast between NC State and Virginia. A blue chip recruit like Hayden Hidlay going up against a scrappy walk-on who has found his way into the lineup by, as Coach Garland told us, hustling.
Yeah, hustle and determination. Hidlay has won 39 straight duels. He's 9-0 this season. 4-time ACC champ, and yeah, he can bump up a couple of weight classes. We've talked about this before, but for a lot of guys, you bump up 2 weight classes, you wonder, are you going to just have enough strength and power? That's not an issue for him at 174 pounds. He's made the transition seamlessly.
Yeah, Hidlay was on the Pack Mentality Poppins podcast this week, and he said he was a little worried initially about the strength, but after feeling guys, he feels like he's still in the top 5% of his weight class for strength. And the eye test would agree with that.
4 back points there. Hidlay with the near fall, make it 6-0.
Hidlay's got cross wrist underneath. He's got the bar in on that right side. Looking for another turn here.
And he's got it. And that's got to be terrifying if you hear him say, oh, well, I still think I'm in the top 5% of strength, because don't get me wrong, he was a bully at 157, but it wasn't just pure strength that he's getting it done. I mean, he is a wrestler in the truest sense of the word. And so when you mix in, Coach Popolizio says he's like having a coach on your team out there. He might go into coaching when he's done.
Yeah, and I think this extra time that he's not spending cutting weight, sounds like he's been putting in a lot of time with freshmen, younger guys on the team, and he is serving as an extra coach.
And you can see the face of Phillips right now. He is really straining, and Hidlay looking to finish this one here, and he does. 4 seconds left in the first period, and Hayden Hidlay wins with a pin.
It doesn't get much more dominant than that. Takedown, couple sets of 4-point near falls, turn them over, and pick up the pin. Mr. 100 getting it done again. Dominant effort for Hayden Hidlay. Dominant effort for the Wolfpack.
Monday night, NC State women's basketball returns to Reynolds Coliseum to face Georgia Tech in the 15th annual Play for K game. Join us for a special night, including a halftime celebration hosted by KYOW's former player and ESPN's own Debbie Antonelli. All the action starts at 7 p.m. on ESPN2 and the Watch ESPN app. A look at the top 5 wrestlers at 184 pounds. There's Trent Hidlay, ranked number 3. In a couple of polls, he's ranked as high as number 2, but man, his 184 just absolutely stacked.
Yeah, you got the defending national champ Aaron Brooks, an Olympic medalist, and Miles Amin. And this wild man out here, Trent Hidlay.
Hidlay getting right to work. 184, undefeated Hidlay at 11-0, facing 25th ranked Michael Batista, who is 12-2 on the year. Hidlay, his last 3 matches have all been won via fall. He just saw his older brother do that. It was near fall. You could see it was coming. We were telling you it was near, and then Trent picked up number 101, or pardon me, Hayden picked up 101. Trent out there now.
Trent might still have another year or two before he gets to 101.
But with the type of career he's having, he'd be a good bet to reach triple digits.
Yeah, you mentioned all the falls he's had this year. I really feel like he's taken his game to a new level. He's really improved on top a ton. He's diversified his neutral game. It's not just all underhook anymore. I mean, the Hidley brothers, the brothers of destruction as they call themselves, neither one of them's got a hole in their game.
They got merchandise, right?
They do.
T-shirts.
I'll get you one for Christmas.
I'd appreciate that. Kind of far away, but
I like to
might want one before that, but you know.
But that's what I'm talking about right there. Trent Hidley, great shot, right into a finish, not even coming through off of an underhook.
And there's Hayden looking on, and you know, they go back to back like that. And Coach Popolizio said he feels like it's good energy because obviously they're locked in, watching one another, that they can really even feed off the energy even more than when it was at 157 and 184, and you got a couple in between. So they go back to back, and that's been beneficial for the team.
Yeah, NC State has a couple of guys dispersed throughout the lineup that are just so exciting to watch, and they're guys that can, if momentum's starting to go the other direction, or if we're hitting a lull in a match, I mean, they have them spaced out really well. You've got Ed Scott at 57. I know we saw him lose tonight, but he's just so exciting to watch. You got the Hidley brothers at 74 and 84. You come back around, you got Jacob Camacho at 25. I mean, they are just solid throughout, and have those guys that can really turn things around in a hurry.
And Tariq Wilson as well, and that's why this program has been so dominant in duels. There is no program that's been better over the last 7 seasons. NC State has won 97 of its last 107 duels. If you want to round up, that's 91% of its duels. And the only loss this year came to number 1 Iowa.
And they gave them all they could handle in that match as well.
I mean, earlier we were talking about was it a pin, was it not for Jack? And if that changes, right?
That changes everything if they call that pin.
Which is why it's all the more remarkable that they've won 91% of duels over the last 7 seasons, because in any duel you're going to have a coin flip, match or two, and if you lose those, it's pretty simple to see the duel slide the other way. I mean, just ask Virginia. They were upset by Campbell earlier this year.
Yeah, it's incredible consistency and incredible depth. Those are the two things that play there. That NC State shows up on a consistent match-to-match basis without any off nights. And then they just got the talent to get it done.
And that's what we're seeing from Trent Hidley here in the first period. I mean, he put up 8 points against a top 25 wrestler in Batista. There's the escape for Batista. You see the ride time, well up over a minute for Hidley.
And I think one important thing to note about this is Michael Batista's a guy that's given Trent Hidley trouble in the past. In the 2020 season, there was a 4-2 decision for Hidley. Last year, it was 4-0 for Hidley.
He hasn't been able to score that easily.
And you see the gap widening here.
There you see Michael Batista second on this list. There's the grad students. You got commerce, kinesiology, a couple education masters as well. And the academics at Virginia speak for themselves. The university founded by Thomas Jefferson. And so to be in grad school and then put the athlete part to that student athlete as well. And wrestling, no less, which takes such dedication.
Yeah, and
it's really impressive.
You got to be managing your weight. You got to be staying in shape. I mean, there's so many things that go into it, and it just makes it really impressive that Steve Garland has the culture that makes these guys want to stick around. And same thing on the other side with Pat Popolizio. They've got 4 sixth-year seniors who took advantage of the COVID year. And one of them's not even in the lineup.
And that, as you said, you know, to want to come back, that tells you a lot about the culture and the program. Over 2 minutes of ride time here for Hidley. Second period hasn't featured as much scoring.
Yeah, only 1 takedown versus the 4 he had in the first period.
But again, his last 3 times out. 1 by pinfall. And if this continues, we're going to see the roof get raised. I think we saw Hayden a little half effort. Yeah, it's not a two-handed. I think he gave a little one-handed raise the roof.
I don't know if Trent's copyrighted that celebration yet.
I'm sure just like with the Brothers of Destruction merchandise, they can share royalties. And there's the second time that Batista's been hit with stalling. So another point for Trent Hidley. Into major decision territory, but looking for more. We haven't seen him hit a big move yet. No back points.
Yeah, been a lot of neutral work for Trent Hidley so far. Got Batista down in the front headlock. Batista's out of that.
.60 seconds left in this third period.
Limp arms out and gets the 2. I mean, his game is just so well-rounded.
How do you try to wrestle against a guy like that? What is your game plan coming in?
It's tough. I mean, you just try to go out there and prevent bonus points, I think, in a lot of ways. I know guys don't go take the mat thinking that, but
right.
That's got to be in the back of your mind, you know. I got to go out there, limit bonus points, but it's tough against a Trent Hidley. Like I said, his game has grown so much. He has all kinds of different takedowns now. They're not all coming off underhooks. He can turn you on top. We haven't seen that today, but he's got that in his bag of tricks now. Almost pulled Batista on top of himself there.
There's the escape for Batista. NC State coaching staff wants to see one more takedown from Hidley. They're wrestling with a purpose here.
I think he's going to run out of time here.
Dominant effort from Hidley as he gets another ranked victory, his 4th of the season, as he defeats Michael Batista. 16-5, major decision.
Yeah, not only 16-5, but he had almost 3 minutes of riding time. Trent Hidley has taken his game to a new level, and he's in Reynolds Coliseum raising the roof.
Who did it better here, Ryan?
Let's check it out. He did go both hands there on the raising the roof. You see one of Trent Hidley's many takedowns. And his patented celebration, he's raising the roof. I gotta go Trent. Andrew, what about you?
It is his move. That's why we have replay, though, because when we first saw it, I only saw Hayden with the right hand, but his form was better than I thought.
It started off as a little quick one-handed, and then he went all out for it.
All right, 197 pounds. This is the one we've been looking forward to all night. And Jay Aiello is the highest ranked Virginia wrestler at 13th in the country. He's 8-1. He's had international success with Team USA. There he is, the bronze medal winner at the U23 World Championships. A huge confidence booster for him, a guy who's been top 5 in his career, and he puts it on the line tonight against Isaac Trumbull of NC State. And again, clash of styles.
Yeah, Jay Aiello loves to shoot. Very offensive. Isaac Trumbull, a little bit more of a defensive guy. Don't let that fool you, though. He's got big moves in his bag of tricks. We saw that in his dual debut last year when he pinned Nino Bonacorsi, eventual NCAA finalist and a guy that's had Jay Aiello's number.
And that's really interesting, right? That's one of the awesome things about this sport, especially when you talk about ACC competition, is you get the same opponents. And sometimes, transitive property, we can't always buy into that, but it's about matchups, right? This sport is about matchups, but you can compare, and Trumbull has beaten the guy that Aiello hasn't been able to get in his career.
Yeah, not only beat him, pinned him.
Right.
And he's a guy that has dominated Aiello.
But again, Aiello, there's no mystery about it. Coach Garland said, look, I mean, he's easy to scout. He's going to shoot and shoot again and shoot again. But Trumbull, very comfortable defensively, and as you mentioned, he can almost maybe lull you to sleep. You're so focused on how do I score against this guy. Next thing you know, he hits a big move.
And here's what we're talking about. Jay Aiello in deep on a shot. Isaac Trumbull scrambling, trying to sit around behind.
And he finally does finish it. And it's tough to just get into an area where you can fit, because like you said, you got to be in deep. Talking about Wilson's size earlier, we always talk about that with Isaac Trumbull. He's what, 6'4"? You just don't see guys who aren't heavyweights at this height.
No, there's not a whole lot of 6'4" guys wrestling out there at any weight class beyond heavyweight. And the interesting thing about this as well, you see Trumbull's a little bit skinnier right now. Jay Aiello is a full-blown 197-pounder. When he was wrestling at the U23 World Championships, he was wrestling at 97 kilos. I don't have my calculator handy, but that's
like 220, right?
Yeah, it's 215, I think, 215-ish. And Steve Garland told us Jay Aiello really had to work to get back down to 97.
Google says 213.8.
There you go.
There's Trumbull with the takedown of his own. And it took Aiello a while to get back into the lineup to safely and cut that weight correctly, because yeah, he's very comfortable in the two teens, if you will.
Yeah, I believe Steve Garland told us he was in the upper 220s. I think he said 228 at one point. So we do have a stalling call that's been issued towards Isaac Trumbull, just his first. Important to note that going forward.
And as you noted earlier, that's something you would always take, the stall over giving up the escape, and here's his takedown.
Yeah, just working through it, continuing the wrestle, and coming out on top. Trumbull probably heard us saying he wasn't much of an offensive guy. He said, I'll show you guys.
I didn't hear you say that. I didn't say that. He's known more for his defense.
No, he's an excellent defensive wrestler. Does have some nice offense as well, but I would say that's the part of his game that's still in development.
Isaac Trumbull, second year, freshman, ranked 20th in the country, from Springfield, Nebraska. And it's Military Appreciation Night. We appreciate Isaac Trumbull. It's going to be special for him in a ceremony after this duel tonight. He's going to be commissioned into the Army. He's in the ROTC program here, as we got two scored by Aiello on the reversal. But he's in the ROTC program. He's got a ways until he graduates, but when he does, he plans to join the Army Reserves as an officer.
And Aiello's got like a quasi cradle locked up. It's really low on Trumbull's leg, which is making it a little difficult for him to get the turn, and it's stopped for being potentially dangerous. You saw Aiello kind of shake his head in frustration there. he worked hard for that reversal too.
Yeah.
He was trying to sit out and kind of pop his butt out, and was able to do it. After about, I mean, Trumbull was on top there for probably 30 seconds before Aiello was able to get the reversal. Got a little scoreboard issue, I believe, that they are sorting out. I think it was a riding time.
Yeah, they just dropped that riding time about 15 seconds.
Yeah,
or so.
I was looking at it and I was thinking that doesn't add up to have 1 minute and 2 left in the period. So Aiello throws a leg in on the left side pretty quickly, and now he's gotten Trumbull basically broken down. He's got a cradle locked up on the far side as well, but Trumbull was able to break that grip. Now he needs to go to work of getting that leg out on the left side. See what Aiello does here. Short time here for Trumbull, only about 20 seconds left in the second period.
So he got the reversal. He rides out the rest of the second period, and Aiello in a good position as we head to the third.
Yeah, and here's an interesting decision for Trumbull. Do you go underneath, which he did just indicate he would take, or do you pick neutral? And
Sure.
He is going underneath, so he's going to have to get out off bottom here, and he needs to make sure he does not let Aiello get that leg in right away like he did on that last restart.
He's got about 20 seconds to get out here before Aiello goes up over a minute. And once
Aiello,
again, there's the leg.
Yeah, he just so crafty, able to sneak that in there. And that's going to make it hard for Trumbull to get away.
Especially when you just spent the last minute being ridden as well. And now he's up over a minute of ride time.
That effectively makes it a 5-3 match right now.
Look, hindsight's 20/20, but at this point, if you're Isaac Trumbull, you're thinking, man, why did I choose bottom?
Yeah, he probably should have gone neutral, but again, in the regular season, I like it. He's going, if he wants to do what Isaac Trumbull wants to do, he's going to have to get off bottom against a guy like Jay Aiello when it counts in March.
And now we've got a stall warning on Aiello. And he seems a little perplexed by that call.
Kind of the second time he's looked at the referee like, really?
The 2020 ACC champ, 3-time NCAA qualifier. And this Virginia coaching staff, when guys are going through adversity, they say, look at Jay. All the things he's gone through, had shoulder surgery, didn't miss a practice. Took him a couple years to get going. He didn't step onto campus and immediately start winning. They say, look at Jay. He is the prime example for this Virginia team. And there's the brick being thrown by the Wolfpack coaching staff as Trumbull, they thought he'd gotten out.
I think they're challenging that there was an illegal cutback here.
Okay.
Based on the timing of when that was thrown and what Aiello was doing on top. That's got to be what they're challenging.
Well, they've looked at this once earlier in this duel. Did not rule the illegal cutback.
Right, it was a referee's ruling last time. And I'll take another look at it before I say one way or the other, but I think that's probably going to be ruled an illegal cutback, and that changes things in a massive way.
And that's in place to protect Trumbull in this instance, yes?
Exactly.
And protect his joints there?
Yep.
His knee joint?
And I think the key is, does Aiello leave both of his feet when he does the illegal cutback? And right there, you see both feet are off the mat. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be.
Because the thinking there, right, is Trumbull is then supporting all of his weight in a potentially dangerous situation. And they say no illegal cutback. So they're looking at more than just did he leave his feet, because clearly he did.
But yeah, he was off both of his feet there.
So Aiello has successfully ridden here for over 2 minutes, dating back to the last period. And can he continue for their final 45 seconds? And here comes the leg again.
Yeah, he's so good getting that leg in. I mean, he just forces the issue almost and gets it in.
Well, Trumbull saying, hold on a second.
Yeah, Trumbull might have to start going for a big move here. 30 seconds left. He might need to. Now he's looking for a switch here.
Well, a reversal would get the job done. He's got 18 seconds to do it. It only took him 3 seconds. Huge reversal. Now, can he keep Aiello down for the final 7 seconds?
If he does, we're going to sudden victory.
In the final 20 seconds, Isaac Trumbull reverses, and now Virginia has thrown a brick. They thought that Aiello reversed back in the last second or two of that bout.
Yeah, we'll see.
At least I think that's what they're challenging.
They might be saying.
Hey, they weren't calling for a travel, I'll tell you that, okay? But they were making that kind of signal on the Virginia side.
We'll see what they come up with this time. If it stands as called.
So you see right there, does Aiello have a reversal? Is what they're looking at with in the last 2 seconds here.
That's pretty close. The thing I would say, and the referees have already made a decision, so I'm guessing they're going to say the call stands.
Yeah.
Sudden victory it is.
We've been looking forward to this one all night. Why not go to sudden victory?
Crowd getting back into it.
And we're waiting right here on the clock. Go ahead.
The thing to remember, sudden victory is now 2 minutes. New rule change this year. It used to be a minute. It's now 2 minutes. I love the rule change. I think it's creating a lot of matches that are decided in sudden victory.
Yes.
Versus going the tiebreakers.
Yeah, you got to like that. Because at this point, you've already gone 7 minutes. You add 2 more, somebody's going to be able to finish.
And it might come down to who's in better shape. I mean, it's hard to wrestle 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Aiello in on a single, sucking it in. Nice job by Trumbull getting his hips back. Started to create some space. Now he's going split with a crotch lock.
And this is where the rule change is big, because we'd be almost done with this period. Instead, there's still 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Still holding on to that right leg.
Yeah, Aiello's got that right leg trapped. You see he's kind of got it trapped with his leg. Trumbull still fighting here, still got a whizzer in now. Good job by Trumbull putting that foot on the mat. Look at the flexibility.
Yeah. But Aiello driving forward, and there's the defense again. Trumbull, so good at it.
Incredible defense from the young freshman.
Now can he turn it around on Aiello? Trying to get that left foot free. He gets out of it. That's got to be 2, and it is. Isaac Trumbull, sudden victory over Jay Aiello. He turned the defense into offense.
Hey, we talked about his defense earlier tonight, how good it is, and you're seeing it right there. A U23 world bronze medalist is in deep, in overtime, not able to finish. Isaac Trumbull gets it done. fundamental defense gives them the sudden victory win.
Trailing with 20 seconds left in the bout. Keep in mind, Jay Aiello had over 2 minutes of riding time. He had been dominant on top, but Isaac Trumbull came up with the reversal to force sudden victory and then put it away in sudden victory, right?
Yeah, great defense like we know about Isaac Trumbull. Showed that counter offense to get the winning takedown in sudden victory. An incredible win for the Wolfpack freshman.
NC State is going to win this duel up 29-2, and that much has been known for a little while. However, see how this finishes up against another ranked-on-ranked matchup. Very close in the rankings. Tyree Houghton of NC State, the junior who spent the last couple of years at this weight after splitting time at 197 and heavyweight his first couple of years, and Quinn Miller, the grad student from Lilburn, Georgia. And these are not the two biggest heavyweights you're going to see this year.
No, they're not, but size is not everything. Tyree Houghton's probably the smallest of NC State's 3 heavyweights, and he's the guy that's kind of earned the starting spot and began the run with it.
And NC State, they know about having a heavyweight that some would say is undersized, right? And Nick Wisdowski was never known as the biggest guy on the mat.
And it didn't stop him from winning 2 NCAA titles, making the finals 3 times, and being one of the ACC's best ever.
Houghton 16-7 on the year. Quinn Miller 10-5. Miller is twice an NCAA qualifier. Went 0-2 last year and finished 3rd at the ACC's. Deontay Wilson of NC State, the champ.
Very interesting how NC State has 3 heavyweights that all seem to be almost neck and neck with each other. I think all 3 of those guys would probably, considering Deontay Wilson beat everybody else in the conference last year, NC State might have 3 heavyweights that could place 2nd at the conference tournament. I think that would be how you draw it up on paper going in, behind Traxler of Virginia Tech. But Houghton's the guy that is getting the nod right now and is doing some pretty good stuff for Pat Papalizio's Wolfpack.
Well, NC State, we talked about them becoming one of the blue blood programs in college wrestling, and so with that comes great recruiting. That's part of the reason why they're so good this year, is the #1 class from 5 years ago, and that those guys are all back for the most part. But with that recruiting, you go nationally for your recruiting search. But Houghton's a guy from North Carolina, from Weddington, North Carolina. North Carolina is a state that might not be as well known as, you know, the Pennsylvanias of the world, but there's some good wrestlers to be found in this great state of North Carolina.
Yeah, we all saw what North Carolina native Michael Macchiavello did,
sure,
winning his NCAA championship at 197 pounds. And it's weird to say, but right now Houghton's the only North Carolina native starting in the NC State lineup.
Here's a look at the recruiting class, and yeah, some low numbers there. Overall numbers, you got 4 top 25 wrestlers, and you know, individual rankings, yeah, 1 or 2 really.
And I think Pat Papalizio has not been afraid to say he thinks some of those guys are going to be in the lineup immediately for the Wolfpack.
And that's usually the tough thing when you're stepping into a program, yeah, that's ranked 4th right now, but has been a top 10 program for years now. 95 consecutive weeks NC State has been a top 10 program. That's 7 seasons. You don't, especially wrestling, where this is a sport where red shirts are common. You want to be older in wrestling. You don't expect guys to step in right away. Hold on, watch out. I could, my laptop flashed before my eyes right there. I could see that going poorly.
We were just trying to come.
Not to mention this monitor we've got, right?
Those are the last 2 guys you want coming over here to the table.
Yeah, they're not the biggest heavyweights, but they're plenty big enough to break the monitor, no doubt.
And some other, this
the
table,
equipment's good.
your computer.
We got a Marshall camera up here. All kinds of technology.
Houghton digging those double unders. I don't think there are many heavyweight matches where Tyree Houghton's the bigger guy, but my eye test tells me he's probably a little bit bigger here.
A little adjustment to make. Sometimes you're used to having that quickness, agility advantage. Might not be there against Miller, and ooh.
That was a nasty eye poke. Nothing intentional. Yeah. You saw Houghton really starting to step up the aggression and the pursuit. Still blinking it out.
And good sportsmanship here. Both guys shake hands before they restart. And as you said, certainly nothing intentional, but not fun. Part of the sport.
Doesn't make it hurt any less.
Yeah.
Miller in deep on a shot, and look at that sprawl from Houghton. Miller's going to get his turn on bottom now.
Well, we told you coming in as we head to the third period here in the last bout. We told you coming in that Virginia is better than its record. It was 7 ranked matchups. I certainly didn't expect UVA to come away with just 1 win. And it was a big win. Jake Keating, was nearly cradled and pinned by Ed Scott. An incredible comeback, but I feel like this one's important for Quinn Miller to get for the Hoos.
Absolutely. It would be huge for him personally and for the team just to get that. And there is the reversal.
And that'll go a long way. Offense has been at a premium in this bout. And now Houghton's going to have to try and get out of this. 90 seconds remaining. And he does. So we've seen a reversal, but no takedowns.
Houghton digging those double unders again. Let's see if he can do something with it this time.
Last time he kind of just abandoned it pretty quickly. This time he looks more geared to try something. Hey, he's still really blinking that eye.
Yeah, Miller able to pummel out of that double under situation. Now he's got headgear in his eyes.
I wouldn't mind seeing this one going to sudden victory either. Be a good way to finish this one out, right? Back to back. Still got 45 seconds and
could
still
happen.
Neutral now.
Although Quinn Miller trying to make sure it doesn't. In on a shot, trying to finish here. About 30 seconds left. Now look at Houghton. He's around. Gets the 2.
Boy, he's crafty the way he maneuvers.
And Miller had a vice grip on that ankle.
Yeah.
And Houghton just able to sneak it out of there, spin around, and it looks like he's going to post a 4-2 victory here.
Tyree Houghton with a 4-2 decision. NC State wins 9 of the 10 bouts tonight, 32-2, with UVA losing the 1-team point. And again, this is a quality Virginia program. What did we see here tonight from NC State?
I thought it was a dominant effort. The final team score is a little bit misleading because there were a lot of close matches individually.
No doubt, no doubt. 5
wins for NC State within 4 points. Obviously, one 1-point match went against them. But overall, dominant and encouraging performance for the Wolfpack, who really seem to be hitting their stride heading into the postseason.
NC State was handing out a Nick Wisdowski bobblehead on Twitter if you guessed the correct score. I don't know if anybody had 32-2 tonight. That would have taken some kind of foresight, but it was all Wolfpack here in Raleigh. Jake Keating for Virginia, an upset top 10 victory over Ed Scott, but NC State wins 9 of the 10 bouts. For Ryan Tice, I'm Andrew Sanders. So long from Raleigh.